Can you also talk about the role open source can play in this space? Because open source in reality is less about code and actually more about collaboration, building a kind of community. That is the biggest space. So talk about how open source can also be a catalyst to the change that energy sector is looking at.
The good news is the energy and power sector has a a rich tradition of collaboration already through organizations such as the IEEE, IEC, and other standards bodies. Throughout its lifetime, there's been collaboration around, okay, are we going to align on 120 volts or 240 volts, right? 50 hertz or 60 hertz. And so there's a vast library of standards that are the results of this collaboration. That's fantastic. Open source has the opportunity to complement the sorts of collaboration that already exist. Because what happens is you end up having collaboration and creating a standard, and that standard often takes the shape of, okay, you now have a PDF document, maybe a couple hundred page, who knows. But there are ways to interpret that standard. And you may have organizations interpreting that standard in different ways, which leads to duplication of effort, basically different flavors of the standard, reducing interoperability. And so I think that's an area where open source has a real potential to reduce friction and reduce duplication of effort, because we can actually create the reference implementation for the standard. One area that we're making progress on this is, so there's a IEC 61850 standard around digital substations. And that's fairly mature standard, very well regarded and implemented throughout the world. But you end up having different interpretations of the standard. And a few of our projects, such as Compass and OpenSCD, they provide a reference implementation for parts of the standard so that organizations can align around this and then customize on top of it, rather than have to build it all from scratch.